Hi everyone, this is Deborah with Hello My Garden, and it's been a little bit of time since I've done an update of our wild permaculture edge area. This is what we call it. So maybe perennial be a better term, but it is our permaculture or our back to Eden gardening. There's a lot of different names for it. Paradise gardening. We try to put medicinals here and edibles here and things also for the pollinators, so everything has its purpose. And you're looking right now at our chrysanthemum, and this is the medicinal chrysanthemum. You use the flowers for tea. And if you recall, I mentioned before that this is not the best place for it. It's doing well here, but it's daylight sensitive, so it tends to go to flower when the nights or when the days are shorter, and with our light pole here, it keeps light on there all night long. So I'm going to have to move it or propagate it and get a little bit maybe to the front yard. So this right here, I don't remember the name. It is a ground cover that I got at the North Carolina Botanical Gardens. It's a native, and I try to add some natives and some edibles, and try to make sure that we have a nice balance. So the things that we want that are not native have a purpose, so they're edible, but so we kind of balance that out with some natives. And it's doing pretty well here. Most of the time, I planted it a good 5 years ago maybe, and most years it's not doing too well, but it's been kind of a cooler spring. As soon as it gets hotter, it's gonna go dormant usually. But this is as vigorous as I've seen it so far. And so here's our milkweed. And this milkweed, I was thinking wasn't going to come back up because it wasn't there. I'm like, where's my milkweed? And so about 2-3 weeks ago, all of a sudden I see a little plant coming up. And then all of a sudden it just shot up, and it's almost ready for flowers now. And so there are some caterpillars. And see if I can't try to get them in the picture. Right there. I don't know if it can capture it. It's so small. But there are some little caterpillars there. And I think it is a monarch. I think they're monarch. Oh, that would be so great. I'd be ecstatic if those are monarchs. I think they are. They look like monarchs. I kind of get sometimes a little confused with the swallowtails, but those look like monarchs. Yay! So all of you, please plant a patch of milkweed for the monarch butterflies, because they're reaching a really reduced endangered status. So the more milkweed you can plant for them, the better. Okay, so there's a wild indigo that's not edible that we grow for the flowers, for the pollinators, and the flowers are actually really beautiful. Unfortunately, they've gone already. They're already died off. So so I missed that in the video, but they are really very pretty. Okay, so this is a Rose of Sharon, and the flowers are edible, and my understanding, I've read that the leaves are edible too. So, but it's not something I'm looking forward to eating, so it's more of something that you eat in an emergency. We've got comfrey and fennel and some bee balm. Bee balm is used for tea, and the bees love it. That's why it's called bee balm. We have thyme back there. So right here is a mulberry, and it's got a lot of, I guess you could say, weeds or the vetch, which I was trying to pull some of it down, but I have a reason that I haven't. Here's some bronze fennel. If you recall, this is where the yellow jackets were that attacked me last year. And they're not here right now. I do not know where they've gone. I try to listen out for them. Okay, so this is why I haven't pulled that stuff down. It's this Guy Goulan. And the Guy Goulan is a medicinal that I planted, but it tends to like the shade, because here in the south, in this particular yard, I do have a lot of sun. And that's a good thing, but it can be too hot. And so this likes a bit of shade. This is like the shade. So my intention was, when this mulberry gets big, it'll provide enough shade for this Guy Goulan, and I'll just have a little fence here that it can grow on. Anyway, so it's a bitter herb that makes a a good, from what I understand, very healthy tea. I am, okay. Again, I'm not a doctor. That's just what I've read. And that's what we intend to grow it for. So this is a white mulberry, and I planted here. When I removed, I have this fence around here to protect it from the deer. But unfortunately, we have vole problem here. So when I pulled the fence away and cleared away a little bit of the plant matter around here, there were some holes. And so the voles have really taken over my yard, which is, I think can you see a hole right there? I don't know if you can see the hole there. I kind of pushed around the holes to try to make them go away. But so permaculture, we really, you use the plant matter, the grass. You cut your grass and you let it fall on the ground, and you let it decompose and return to the soil, because that improves your soil. That's what nature intended. That's what it's there for. And unfortunately, it also provides a place for voles to hide and, from their predators. And so for us, it makes it very challenging to do this. But I don't want to kill voles. I intend for nature to, handle and create a balance. And it's taking a little bit of time, and I'm trying to be patient. But we are losing a lot of our plants to voles. Okay, so we have here passionflower cerulean. If you can see the flower, I'm trying hard to get it in the picture. Can you see it? There we go. So passionflower cerulean, passionflower. It's not the same as the maypop, which I have in the front. Okay, so this is Echinacea purpurea, or coneflower, purple coneflower. And there's a flower. And if you recall, last year I had a problem with the Astor's yellow disease. And this flower seems to be okay. I think it's purple. I got to keep just a close eye and make sure that we don't see much of it popping up again. And I pulled the diseased plants out last year and just left the rest that looked okay. And so we'll see how that goes. I really don't want to pull out the whole patch. And here's some more of the passion flower. And you can see there's a lot of flowers that are buds that are going to come up, which is nice. Okay. And I wanted to show you this right here. So this, I'll make sure it gets in the picture. I'm starting to see my face here. I'm not really good with getting these shots in the camera. Okay. So this is what I think this is anyway, is St. John's wort. And I planted St. John's wort here maybe 2 years ago, and it never came up by seed. And so I was trying to clear some of this grass away, and I said, wow, this really looks like St. John's wort. And you know what? I really think it is. I think it finally came up, which is nice. So it's kind of evidence of we have to have patience. Sometimes it doesn't come up when we want it to, but it came up. So really nice. Okay, so moving along, have some more bee balm. These are our blackberries. So this is our white thorny blackberry right here. You can see some of those thorns. And then this here should be a descendant of our triple crown that we planted over here from our other blackberry area. And so that is a thornless. Also want to show you back over there is the remnants of our forsythia. It is extremely invasive, and all those little, everywhere where there's a leaf or a plant, a branch, comes up. So we really got to get in there and pull as much as we can out, but please don't plant forsythia. Now there is a medicinal forsythia, and my understanding it's a Chinese variety that's not the ones that that people use in landscaping. And it's not the leaf that's edible. It's like a type of a fruit that's grown on there, and that is used in Chinese medicine. I heard about that from another YouTuber, or actually somebody that, what is it, Joe Hollis, on one of his videos in Mountain Gardens. He's a really very educated in herbal medicine, and so I encourage you to look at his videos for information about that. But that's how I heard that there is a medicinal forsythia. This is not it, and I encourage you not to grow forsythia. Okay, so here is a yarrow. Hopefully it's in the picture. Yarrow is a medicinal. And here's a dogwood. And the dogwood, unfortunately, our dogwoods are really getting attacked by the voles. And we really love our dogwoods, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. There's nothing we really can do. Okay, so we have a hyssop. And this is mountain mint. We have comfrey. One of our many bird houses. And this is our water feature for the frogs. Okay. And a pile of leaf matter for composting. And this is our kiwis. These are our kiwis. So these, remember, are hardy kiwis, and they're little berries. So they're not the huge kiwis that you're used to getting at the grocery store. Little berries, and there's actually a little birdhouse there. Little bird nest. It doesn't seem occupied right now. So these are our kiwis. They're doing really well, but they're also being attacked by those voles. So all I can do is pray. I am putting I sprinkle a little hot cayenne pepper down there to try to convince them that it's not very tasty around here. I don't know that it's helping, but I'm trying that as a non-lethal method, and so, but this did flower. There's some remnants, if you can see, some remnants of the flowers, and so I'm hoping to see that we get some berries this year. We did have a few last year. We only ate about 3 because something else, either a squirrel or deer, ate the rest of them. There weren't a lot, but there are a lot of flowers here, so hopefully we'll get some. So this is the acai version, or the acai type of kiwi, and this one is self-fertile. It doesn't produce as much as well as the varieties that do require the pollinators, or the males and the females. So this is my only male, but hopefully it does really well. I gotta save this male. But I think it's going to still be a few more years till I get production out of the rest of them, if they last, if the voles don't kill them on me. But the acai, we should get some berries, knock on wood. So anyway, I hope you all have a great Mother's Day, and I thank you for being with me, and I hope you have a great day.